Hi, Ray Poynter here, and I'm going to run through some tips for how you can make a better word cloud, and I'm going to use Word Cloud Plus to do that. So I've got a data file here that's a set of open-ended comments. It's a file I've used a few times, and it comes from a survey where we were talking to people about presentations and what makes a good presenter. And one of the questions in that study was what makes a good presenter, and they gave us all sorts of open-ended comments, and that's what I wanted to produce a word cloud for. So before I start producing the word cloud, I had a look at the data file and I tidied it up. There were some headers and some footers. There was the text of the question. Now obviously none of that wants to be in the word cloud, so I removed all of those, and what I've pasted in here is just the words I want to use. So let's ask it to create the word cloud. Now, one of the things that I will often do is play around with the number of things I want to display. So this one is defaulting at 50. We could have a look at 70 because I've got quite a big screen. And we see more things now than we would do if we just had the 50. It's actually, I think, quite hard to work with it when it's at that sort of scale. So my most typical number of slides to look at is actually 30, phrases to look at. And if I do that, I can really see what the main patterns are and the features going on. So the next thing I'm going to look at is the word presenter. Because do you remember that was in the question? So what makes a great presenter? Well, it comes back in the answers. So actually, I'm going to take the word presenter and great and tell them that those are stop words. I don't want those to be part of the word cloud because they were part of the question that I used in creating this. So what next do I want to do? So we've got slides. Now I wonder if we've also got slide. And presentation, do we also have presentations? So I'm going to look in the summary. And we can see slides is very big there at the top. But let's, well actually I can just use search, can't I? So I'll search for slide and see what else we've got that's got slide in it. So all of those are slides. That's looking quite good. But we do have 13 occurrences of the word slide. So it's going to be worth my while going back to the cloud. And actually we'll go to replace. And I'm going to tell it that I want to find all occurrences of slide and replace it with slides. We'll go back to the cloud. And now the slides becomes even more important. So another one that I'm looking at there is presentation. Maybe we've got presentations as well. So I'm going to look back at the summary. I'm going to ask it to search presentation. So we've got presentation, presentation style. Presentations, yes, there's 14 occurrences of presentations. So let's go back to replace. And it doesn't really matter which way I do it. So this time I'm going to replace presentation with presentations. And we'll go back to the word cloud. So this is coming through now as a stronger way of looking at what we can see. The next thing I'm going to do is look at stop words. Well, I've already done that with great presentation. So we've got a basic word cloud here. Let's think about how we can make it stand out a bit more. So we've got voice. So let's give voice a different color. Let's make the voice is blue, and we've got voice modulation. Let's make that blue. If we look around, do we see voice anywhere else? Tone of voice. So those are pulling things through that way. We've got involving the audience and engage the audience, an ability to engage. So let's put a colour to that as a concept. And we'll have those as a nice green. So I'm grouping together similar things with similar colours. We've got engaging up here, so let's pull that into. And actually, I mentioned stop words a moment ago. Ability to make is probably a little bit too general. So let's have a look at the references that go with ability to make the fieldwork come alive, ability to make the audience. So it's not the thing that's being described, it's the build up to the thing that's being described. So let's take ability and make that a stop word. To is already a stop word because of the default set. So we've got the subject matter, so that's got to be interesting. So let's highlight that maybe in red. It's got to be interesting. Combination of interesting content down here. So we've already started to pull things together in different ways. And of course, we've got content up here as well. And combination of content, we'll pull that in. So we've started to create various pieces. Now we've got these green pieces in 3 different places. So if I click on this icon here, we're now in movement mode. And I can move engaging and engage the audience and involve the audience, and we've brought all of those together. I'll turn off this. All that colour encoding comes back together. So I can put the green items together, and if I wanted to, I could put the blue items together and the red items together in a similar sort of way. And perhaps the final thing I'm going to do is add a title. So what makes a good presentation? Actually, a good presenter. That's what I'm looking for. And now we've got a title. I can also fill up the space slightly more than I have at the moment. So that's on 170 and it's an auto zoom. So just push it up to 190, let's say. And it's filled up the page slightly more. And what I've got now is a more attractive word cloud. The colours mean something. And I can go a little step further. So we could take voice, for example, and tell it that we want that to be bold. Oops, I've also changed the colour by mistake, so let's change it back to blue. So all of this enables us to get the word cloud to create the meaning that we want it to create.